Struds, remember when I beat you in the chip debate?
Yeah, a lot of people push back today.
A win is a win.
Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com.
Well, for 40 minutes or so, Oiler fan is thinking they're back, baby. They are back. Holy smokes. What a start to that game by the Oilers. What a heck of a hockey game. Everything was going well, and then it wasn't. It ended up being a nail-biter. The Oilers end up on the right side of it. What a debut for Jake Walman. We got so much to talk about on tonight's show. Can't wait to get to it. Struddy is standing by. We got Chris Sabunia at the helm at Growler Media World Headquarters in Kelowna, and Rob Brown will join us in just a little bit. Looking forward to tonight's show. Got to talk a little Mikko Rantanen as well, shall we? As always, our show is brought to you by Play Alberta, where it is always game time. Bet on sports, find your new favorite slot, hit the tables, play on a virtual table with a live dealer. You can grab lottery tickets, and you can do it all safely with responsible gambling tools that help keep you safe. Deposit today, you'll get a $50 free bet. Yes, a free bet with code GYB03 at playalberta.ca. I am coming at you from our mobile Adrenaline Diesel studio. Did you know Adrenaline is a Caterpillar recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility for expert service for your CAT engine? Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. Oh boy, Struds, we got a lot to get to tonight, man. This is a beefy show. I love it. So much from that game. More follow-up news on Mikko Rantanen. An amazing debut from Walman. Like, were you thinking the same thing I was after 40 minutes? How the hell can the same team look so different on two different nights?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I guess what I'd say, Shogger, is that it's there's always ups and downs in every season, and I think that the last 3 or 4 games, Oilers are trending in the right direction. Doesn't mean they're finished or 100% right, but I think that you kind of go up and down, and it's been quite a bit of down lately. But I think when you're that far down, it takes a lot of work to get out of it. And tonight there was 40 good, and 20 you'd probably like to tighten up a little bit with a bit of bad bounce, but still pretty decent. They held on, so I expect this to continue trending in that direction as they head on the road.
Yeah. Look at you taking the wind out of my sails, eh? You're not quite in the same headspace as I am on this one. So I think that'll make for some good discussion here. Am I misreading that? I don't know. I came in hot, and you brushed me back. I was a brush back.
No, but it's like it's just like it's constantly up and down the season, and you're like I've been in bad spots where you're dragging, but then I've been in a place where you're winning, and you probably don't really deserve to win. So it's all over the place, right? There's no, just straight line of improvement or straight line of progression. There's a little bit up and down, and every team has a down spike, right? I mean, look at just the Kings, Vegas, and Oilers the last, 3-4 weeks. They've all kind of had a bit of a down spike, although I think Vegas has kind of got it back on track.
Here's my point. That Oiler team that we saw in the first 40 minutes, I don't think we've seen that team in 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I would agree with that. All
right.
But they kind of just they're dragging themselves out of a hole. They played with a lot of energy. I thought they had a lot of energy in those first 2 periods. Walman obviously helped that, in a lot of ways on the back end, and that's a defense group that didn't have Ekholm tonight, buddy.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, lots to talk about. Glad we got that clarified. Let's dig into our breakdown, my friend, courtesy our friends at the Alberta Ram Dealers Struddy.
Hold on. I've got it. I got it coming. The 4x4 winter event is here. Get up to $11,200 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn at your Alberta Ram dealer. See your Ram dealer today.
Yes, love it. Beautiful vehicle, in and out. Okay, my friend, I suppose let's start with the new addition. Everybody was wondering what this was going to look like on this blue line. It was an incomplete blue line tonight. Obviously, Matthias Ekholm was not there. What are your first impressions of the Oilers' shiny new number 96?
You know, it was really interesting because I remember watching him play. And my one thing I thought is he had a big shot, right? And so I was looking for that tonight. And what I saw more was a guy who's very mobile and who gets in the play offensively, much better defensively than I expected. And then the passing, right? I think the passing was something. So it was a really nice debut for him. And I think there's a lot of qualities to his game that the Oilers desperately need. And I'll say it. I know not everyone's going to agree with me. They need a guy that can move the puck like that plays with other, that can play with Leon.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Who
that
wouldn't
to
agree
me
with
has
that?
been, well, I think Brownie the other night said he would like to see the heavier player. I wanted a puck. I've been pretty consistent in that. Well, I have been all year to move that puck. But tonight he was defending hard too. Like there was a lot of nice elements, and he was playing the right side beside Darnell, and I thought they looked pretty compatible together, actually.
Yeah, we chatted with him before the game, and he has more of a comfort level on the right side than I was aware of, based on his comments earlier today. So, and then Chris Knobloch saying post-game that he could see those two being a pairing. I mean, he's going to move guys around a little bit, but he said, yes, we could see those two together. So that'll certainly be interesting. So what I notice about him, Struds, and I noticed this at practice this morning, I don't know if you played with anybody like this, but sometimes there are guys who are so comfortable on their skates, they kind of like, I don't want to use the word strut, but they just have this stylish way that they move around on the ice. It's like they're grooving with every stride. They're confident. It's like they love to skate and they're confident and they're kind of grooving out there. He has that kind of incredible confidence on his skates. The way he moves, he's just kind of, you can tell he's just comfortable, Struds. He's almost, I don't know, this will sound derogatory and I don't mean it this way, but you know how some guys are almost cocky in the way they move around out there? He's just that confident with his own mobility. And I noticed it at practice and then big time noticed it in the game tonight. Something about the way he prowls around with this cocky energy and this mobility.
Yeah, I know a guy like that, Brett Kulak, right? Kulak is such a good skater. Like he looks like he could skate forever as well. So listen, I think one thing the Oilers have been missing on their back end is mobility and puck moving. And that's not a shot at Klingberg or Emberson or anyone like that, but they didn't quite have it. And today, I thought specifically in the first two periods, the team as a whole looked a lot faster. And so I asked myself, what's changed? Yeah, Max Jones is coming in and running guys, but I truly believe that puck movement and mobility from the back end fires up your offense. It has to. It's inevitable. And so what changed? And I think we have to look in the direction of an odd number, 96.
Yeah.
Walman. It's Walman.
I watched him. Yeah. Thanks. Good to know. Almost Rantanen, but instead Walman.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later on, which 96 it could have been. I watched him a ton away from the puck. And the guy's, he's just in it. He's alert. He's aware in his own end. He's on it. And so obviously we saw the puck moving. I mean, the degree of difficulty on that pass to Hyman. I mean, by the way, what an incredible take from Hyman. He had to knock it down. But Struds, he almost, that wasn't just a normal saucer pass. He almost put like a bit of, I don't know, different sort of English on that puck as he flipped it up ice. It almost like he put a different spin on it or something. But what a pass!
Yeah, it was great, and for him to see in that moment where Hyman's stretching to and all that, he throws that pass, and it's a really cool play. Like that'll be in his highlight reel. So yeah, that's great for him to see that. what I liked was just when he passes it, he seems to rip it. Now that obviously that was a different pass,
Yeah.
but there's some pace to his passing. And I think that's really important. So that was a really cool moment. Saw it, that he saw that play, but his rest of his passes, I just like there's a pace to it. And I like pace because it gives the guy on the other end of that pass more time to do what he has to do with it.
Yeah. So one of the things that I talked to Chris Knobloch about today was about, and well, a couple of different people, this idea that the Oilers need to be better defending off the rush. And so defensemen need to control their gap, right? You need to have defensemen that are mobile and that are confident on their skates to keep that nice tight gap. We've seen Klingberg struggle with it a little bit, right, with his mobility. And so Walman is a player that's going to be able to do this. And I think about Strud's, the play at the end of the game, you know, the rush is coming towards him. Now, he was a little bit deeper in his own end, so it's not exactly what I'm talking about here. But I love the defensive play he made at the end of the game where he took the one-on-one rush. He made a play at the puck, but dropped the guy, like put the guy down. And I thought that defensive detail right at a critical moment in the game, I like that he wasn't afraid to be physical in that moment and put a guy down.
So you started your conversation about him with it, and it's his skating. And so when you feel confident on your edges and the way you can skate and the speed you can build and or hold off the rush, you're going to stay up. When you see D-man backing off, now confidence is an issue for sure. Maybe they've been beat before, but also they're maybe not confident in their ability to build and or maintain their speed going backwards. So, you know, guys like Kulak, guys like Walman, Nurse, they're very those guys can all skate, and they're big and they're strong. So I think that, you know, it's that's going to help off the rush, because now you're challenging these guys and trying to put them into space against the wall, maybe trying to challenge them before the blue line. And that's going to help off those unique situations.
Okay, let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox and hear from the new guy, Struds. I am speaking very slowly, so you have time to locate the Weiss Johnson read on your scripts and bring us the soundbox, brought to you by Weiss Johnson.
Let me explain. I was retweeting that we were doing the show when you got me, and I was trying to find the email.
That's why? Okay.
Oh, yeah, not the email. I have it up.
Just giving you lots of time, big guy.
Yeah, so no, I got it now. I got it. And our good buddies at Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. If it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, hot water tank, or you are looking to beat the rush on getting a new air conditioner for this summer, act now, as the team over at Weiss Johnson are already seeing an increase in requests for air conditioning, which makes a lot of sense. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson's here for all your home comfort needs. Visit weissjohnson.com today. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Can confirm Dennis over at Weiss is a fan of Jake Walman. Would have liked what he saw from him tonight. I'll tell you what us media guys don't really cheer. I cheer. I just saw a police officer. Is he turning around? Is this me? No. Okay. Just honestly, police officer just fired up, just absolutely fired up the lights. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Wasn't me. Okay, where were we? Oh, yeah. Weiss Johnson soundbox. Us media guys, we like guys who are good talkers. And Jake Walman is well-spoken. And he will be a go-to guy for us media folks. And that'll take a little pressure off the Ekholms and Darnell Nurses of the world who do a lot of heavy lifting talking to us media clowns. So here is Walman post-game.
Which one do you want, Shugger, on the pairing or the longer segment?
Yeah, roll the longer segment. Let's let the people hear from him.
Okay.
I mean, it was a great handle by him. It was a hard puck to hit down. I was just trying to kind of put it in an area for him, and I mean, I saw he had a step. So yeah, he made a great play. I think it hit his. I'm not sure what it hit, but he controlled it pretty well and buried it.
What did you see from the group, in particular in that first 40 minutes there? Just the pace of play and it was a pretty good 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I noticed. Just the compete level, and these guys are always on here. Feels like a different level, and just really excited to play at that level. And like I said before, meaningful games. I think that was kind of almost like a pre-playoff game.
The hit on Rantanen, what did you kind of see there, and how much do you want to try to make that part of your game here?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be physical anytime somebody's coming through the middle, but I mean, I tried. I think I let up a little bit. It's a tough play. Being caught in that position, you don't want to see anybody really hurt. So yeah, I think I just, it is what it is.
Jake, you come to a new team and you contribute offensively, but it's a 5-4 game and the coach has you out there in the last minute. Just nice for a defenseman to get that trust from your coach right away.
Yeah, it means a lot. I think any competitor wants to be in that position, and those are big minutes and up for the challenge, and wherever they kind of put me, trying to compete as hard as I can, and that was that tonight.
All right, there he is, Jake Walman. Struds, I don't mind what he said about the Rantanen hit. Like, he had a guy with his head down coming through the middle of the ice. He put a good shot on him. That could have been a lot worse than it was. I'm okay with him letting up on a guy. That's kind of the new game and the way guys think. Back in the day, you'd want a guy to just, try and blow a guy up and leave nothing left there. But I don't know. I'm okay with that. You?
Yeah, and I thought it was an interesting quote that he said he let up. I mean, Rantanen's a big man, but it looks like Walman's quite thick and strong. Like he was able to.
Yeah, he's built.
He can. Yeah. He's not getting out muscled. I think too. This may sound odd, but I think in the regular season, you don't really want to hurt anyone. You get in the playoffs, maybe you lay a little bit heavier on there, but you got to be very careful with the headshots, right? I think that's something that you got to be really aware of anytime, because obviously you don't want to hurt the other guy of that, direct headshots, but also this is the likelihood of suspension, of getting a headshot, and that can be really, really hurtful to your own play, obviously, but your team.
Yeah, for sure. Like the physicality through a couple of hits, some nice passes, lots of skating, skated for miles out there, out in the last minute, defending a lead. Like, that was a great debut performance from him, and a real good look to get going with the Oilers. Struds, in terms of other important things that happened tonight, is more important, like has the potential to spark the player more. Do you think Zach Hyman finding the back of the net, or do you think Connor McDavid kind of putting on the cape and going superhero a couple of times? Which do you think is more meaningful for the player?
Hyman, 100%, like 1,000%. Hyman, he scored 50-some goals last year in the regular season, and he's been, snake bitten this year, not getting the same number of goals. I think he's now up to 22 or 23, somewhere in there. So, I think it's important for him to get that feeling going. I believe everyone on the planet knows that Connor McDavid is going to get it back. Now, was it going to come tonight? Could it come a week ago? Was it going to come 2 weeks from now? I don't know when, but I knew it was going to come back. And I thought he had massive jump today. He was flying around out there. And I think that, you look back on his last 3-4 weeks, there's been a lot of traveling, a lot of excitement. I think even superhuman people get worn down. So 100% is Zach Hyman finding 2 goals tonight in a big game on Saturday night hockey. Shagar, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think, yes, I agree with you that it is Hyman, but I'm not going to underestimate what a couple of plays like that and a night like this can mean for Connor McDavid. Because I will say, Struds, he has been in more of a rut than we are ever used to seeing him be in, where he has had a lot fewer of those moments where he does things that lift you out of your seat and make you go, holy smokes. There have been some really nice misdirection passes and some really nice, it's not that he's been bad, but there were a couple of moments that were like, okay, vintage McDavid, pull you out of your seat, holy crap moments. So I'm not going to underestimate what that maybe can mean to him, just to do that, to feel that, and to maybe have access to that, heading into the next game to build off of that. So I'm kind of with you on Hyman, but I'm also not going to sleep on McDavid needing some good stuff like that to happen too, even though he's the best in the world.
Yeah, and that I completely agree, because he also has confidence, right? Or sometimes doesn't have it, right? He needs it. I'm going to throw another guy in there that maybe should have been included in your twosome. We'll make it a threesome.
Love it.
Victor Arvidsson and him calling for that puck and absolutely unleashing the hounds on that one. I mean, I think that's a really important goal for him because he was ready for it. He was in place and he buried it.
Yeah, that's a great point by you. If we're talking about guys that got a jolt tonight, that's what Victor Arvidsson does, right? Like that's vintage sort of, when he's at his best. And that was a goal scorer's goal. He just unloaded that thing, and that's going to be big for him too, I think. And that's a good sign for them that happens. Zuby, did we have Zach Hyman as well in the old Weiss Johnson sound box?
Yeah, we do. We have him on Jake Walman. Here it is.
Obviously, blew the zone, and he's able to recognize that there's a play there and made a great play.
Seems like he fit in pretty well, eh?
Yeah, it looked great.
What did you make of his overall game?
I think it's what we thought we were getting. I remember, I don't know, when he was playing in Detroit, he was pretty good. Playing with Sider there on that pair, and always thought he was a really good player, and I mean, he fits right in, obviously.
All right, Zach Hyman with a big night for him as he's trying to get himself back on track. And no surprise that as Connor McDavid finds his level, Zach Hyman is a benefactor of that, helps him find his level as well. There's a lot of performances tied to McDavid. Like Struds, I think when McDavid goes quiet the way he has here lately by his standards, it's no coincidence some of the other dips. And I think what that is that's a testament to Connor McDavid and how much he raises everybody's game around him just by being as unreal as he is. So when he comes back down even remotely close to earth, it's going to have a net effect and impact on some other guys.
Oh, for sure. It's like when the sun goes down at night, it's not quite as warm, right? So, when the sun's blazing in the sky, everyone feels pretty good. So,
I'm not sure I'm completely with you on the meta, but I feel you. I think I know what you were going for there. Right?
I absolutely nailed that thing right there.
I don't know if you nailed it. That was a little Gregor-esque. That was that was a little Gregor-esque, that particular meta. Zuby, where do you come out on that one, buddy? Are we giving that one to him? When the sun goes down, it's not as warm at night. That's the same as when McDavid doesn't play as well. I don't know. What do you think?
I liked it. I'm gonna have to re-listen to the context, but in the moment, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, nailed it. People are gonna be using that one. You know what? I challenge all the listeners, use it tomorrow, and your friends will be like, "Oh my god, that's a great insight.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear it?"
You've coined another one. Yeah, that is
Chat
great stuff.
GPT or whatever.
Chat GPT. I wasn't going to bring up my glorious victory from last night. It'll come up at a certain point because I know Zuby will probably want to weigh in on things. We'll do that later on in the show when we're done talking about the more important stuff here. Struds, let's do this, my friend. I think Brownie will be along pretty quickly here. I'm just getting home as well, so I will depart for 5 minutes or so. You guys grab Relentless Player and grab the poll, and then I'll catch up with you in takeaways.
Yep, I love it. We got it from here, Zoobs.
Let's do it.
All right, time for the Relentless Player, brought to you by You Can Use Services. Their annual Comedy Nights fundraiser is almost completely sold out. Only 2 tables remain for the week of March 17th to the 19th. If you're looking for more ways to show your support, the 50-50 draw and raffle is now open with fantastic prizes, including 85-inch TV, $1,000 Lululemon gift card, and a WestJet flight for 2. Your support helps provide vital mental health support, job training, and mentorship to young people in need. To purchase tickets and enter the raffle, please visit www.youcancomedy.ca. And I've been to these. They are hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So this is a bit of a bigger Relentless Player today, Zoo, but stay with me.
Okay.
I don't recall a elite player that big getting tossed around like we saw Mikko Rantanen tonight.
Yeah.
We saw Walman, we saw Jones. There was a hit in front. I want to say it was Kulak. I might be wrong. But he was getting tossed around as a big man. So I'm going to say that the Oilers, those few players, were relentless in their pursuit of making Mikko uncomfortable on the ice today, Zoobs.
Yeah, I love that. Especially, I love the Max Jones hit because when you're standing still like that, that's just what you get. You want to move a puck standing dead still. That's what you get, and the Oilers certainly need more of those kind of finishes instead of the Olay, the veer, the flyby. So yeah, I loved that, and yeah, good choice.
It was interesting. You look at it. He reminds me a lot of the way Ben Roethlisberger played quarterback. He's a huge guy.
Yes.
And you can hit him, and it's like no problem. And Mikko got hit, but I mean, he wasn't getting hurt on those. He's so big. And again, I am very biased. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL. Selfishly, I'm happy he's still in the Western Conference. But yeah, I mean, Mikko looked pretty good today. I thought he looked better tonight than he did at all with Carolina. But he got rocked.
What did you think of even though I know he's a guy who can handle himself, were you surprised at the lack of response from the Stars?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Dumba tried to kind of go after Max Jones a little bit, but I thought there was an opportunity to maybe challenge him more directly later on. They hooked up for a couple shifts, but the NHL's changing a bit, But it is, what this should be said. It's his first night on his new team with his new contract, and no one went out there and fought for him.
That's kind of what I
can promise you. If I was on that team, Max Jones would have been fighting, or Walman. Someone would have been fighting like that because he's a new guy. I think if he's been there 8 years, you're like, you're fine, Mikko. Stop taking hits.
On the Walman one guy did the most half-assed shot at Walman.
No,
I don't know. I was there's some chatter on this show from time to time about the Oilers being soft.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty soft response from the Stars in those instances.
Especially that he's new. He's the new guy.
Yeah.
The new guy. Relentless player. So I think that one went over pretty well. So let's get into our YouTube poll. I'm very interested on this one, especially after tonight.
Oh.
Our YouTube poll is brought to you by our good buddies over at DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. The snow is melting and golf season will be here soon, and I am jacked. 2025 equipment is now fully loaded in the fitting carts. DeBoer's is booking fittings 10 days in advance. 10 days. Call now to get your spot. Get fit to play your best by the team dedicated to helping you play better golf. Visit them at their great location at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. So, Zoobs, what have you got for us tonight on this poll?
Yeah, so I think we're probably going to get a little bit of recency bias in this one, but...
a little.
The question tonight is, who ends up being the most impactful late season addition for the Edmonton Oilers? And it's a little bit tricky because two of them we haven't seen yet, so take a little bit of outside of the box thinking possibly, but the options are Trent Frederic, Max Jones, Jake Walman, and Evander Kane. Those are your four choices. So I think there's an interesting conversation to be had there, but right now the gritty TikTok star Jake Walman out to a hefty lead early here. Can you make a case for anybody else?
Well, Max Jones, who would have thought? I didn't think he was going to even play for the team, and here he is 2 games in, getting a little bit of a following. I start getting texts from people, man, I like this Max Jones.
Yeah.
I respond, did you know who he was 36 hours ago or 48 hours ago? The answer would be no. So I think I think that's a great story. The Evander Kane one is yet to be unfolded. I have no idea what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's going to play in the playoffs or not, or win. But then Trent Frederic, I think that he will get a following. We in Edmonton, we love those type of guys. Go back and look at it, Cassian, Greer, Ethan Morrow, Kelly Buckberger. We love those guys that can chip in some goals and hit. Patty Maroon.
Yeah.
We love them. And quite frankly, every organization loves them because they make a difference in your lineup. If you're a young hockey player and you're listening, you should be in bed right now because you probably have practice tomorrow. But if you're listening on the replay, add some grit to your game. Finish checks. Every now and then accidentally slash somebody, right? When the ref's not looking, obviously.
And I wonder if Trent Frederic is watching this, seeing some of the excitement around that physicality, and hopefully he'll be shot out of a cannon when he's ready to go too.
Well, it's interesting. If Max Jones stays in this lineup and Frederic comes in, someone else has to come out. So who's the guy coming out, right? Now, I don't know that Max is going to stay in when Frederic goes in, but you just keep making the case. Just keep knocking on the door. Make the coach make a decision.
Right.
Okay, let's zip out here. We'll have Rishaug back. We'll have Brownie at some point here.
Everybody's going to be here after the break.
Okay, perfect. And let's get out of here and we'll get back and we'll talk some takeaways here on The Big Show.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
Check, testing 1 2 1 2. Back here in the actual Adrenaline Diesel studio. Time now for takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. If it feels like spring outside, that means the yard work is about to begin. Make yard work easy with a John Deere compact utility tractor ready to tackle any task. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 84 months on select compact tractors. Visit Horizon Ag and Turf at one of their 13 Alberta locations or online at horizonagandturf.com. As we check in with Brownie, Rob, I imagine the callers were in a good mood tonight on the 880 Ched postgame show, buddy.
They were. We had one really disgruntled fan with the refereeing and thought that maybe
Stoff?
that there was...
Stoff was on your show?
No, well, he was... Yeah. He was unhappy as well. Thought that maybe some of the refs are cheating to do with gambling. But other than that, no, fans are happy. And they should be. The Oilers, their best player, Connor McDavid, looked like Connor McDavid. Their new addition, Walman, was fantastic in this hockey game. They got another depth goal from a third-line player. Their wingers, their top six wingers contributed 3 goals tonight. So, and at the end of the night, they beat a good Dallas team. So not a perfect game, but feeling better about the way the Oilers are competing and playing as they go into this 4-game road trip.
They're battling. Sure. And I think they're building out of the dumpster, right? They were at the bottom of it. Their game was in bad shape. And you're building out. It won't be perfect right away. It takes time. And I'd like to think at the end of this 4-game road trip, guys, we're looking at a team that's, if not all the way back, at least can see the end of being all the way back, of playing a full healthy or full 60 minutes.
Brownie? Brownie?
Oh,
I agree with you,
I agree with everything Jason said because he's a very smart young man. No, I agree. This is a team that's built in the right direction. It's a team that we talked about it before. This team's only going to go as far as their superstars are, and their superstars have to be the best players on the ice. Connor McDavid hasn't been for the last 3-4 weeks. He looked like he's lacked a little bit of jump, but the last 2 games he's got jump again. He was excellent tonight. And when Connor McDavid's feeling good about his game, he's taking on not one, but not two. He's taking on 3-4 guys at a time. And I tell you that Lyubushkin, I don't know if he's ever felt lonelier in his life than when he saw McDavid pick up with speed coming through the neutral zone. The only thing in his mind is going, I sure hope Connor toe picks because there's zero chance that I can stop him. So if Connor plays like that, the entire team follows along and they have a good chance of winning. So, yeah, I agree that the Oilers are a good hockey club. There's other good hockey clubs in the Western Conference. They're not guaranteed anything. But when they play like they did tonight, you feel each and every game they have a chance to win.
Yeah. Struds and I went in detail on Walman's game in the first segment, Brownie, but definitely want to get your overall impressions too, what you see from the player, the style that he plays with. And I know it was a fantastic first night. I don't know that he'll be like this every night. If he is, holy smokes. But what were your initial impressions?
He's smart. He's a beautiful skater. Like, he's effortless when he skates. He just kind of floats out there. He sees the ice very well. He talked at the end of the first period. He was in between with the intermission with Bob and Mooner, and he talked about the goal that he set up. So I came around the net, had my head up, and I'm looking to make a play. That's a great thing to hear from a defenseman, that he's not just coming around the net trying to get away from somebody. He's actually thinking about where he can put the puck. He throws the big hit on Rantanen. Rantanen's not a little man. I don't expect that all the time out of him, but he saw an opportunity. And what I think is, as fans, you might want to look at, this is a game without Ekholm. They needed players to step up. Nurse and Walman stepped up. They took ice time away from Bouchard. I didn't see Bouchard out in the last 5, 6 minutes of this game. Bouchard only played, I think, 5 minutes in the third period. They played Walman. They like his game, and they should, Strud. I was really impressed. He's a very heady player that understands the game very well, and it was very noticeable tonight.
I made the point earlier, Brownie, that tonight the Oilers looked much faster. And I believe that originates from your D and the way they're able to skate and move the puck. So is it just a coincidence that Walman's in the lineup and it happens? Or is it because Walman was in the lineup that it happened?
Well, you know what? And I know, Shogger, you're going to talk. The one thing also, watch Walman when he plays. He's jumping in the play. He's moving it all the time. But watch him snap the puck. Like, it's one thing to make everything faster because you're skating faster, but there's no soft passes with him. Like, when he's going from one side of the ice to the other, it is like a snap. Like, it's like a slap shot, which also, that just beats the player he's beating a forechecker. So he does everything fast. And when you play on a team with Connor and Leon, you want it fast because you want to try to beat the pressure, and Walman does that time and time again.
Love that comment, Brownie. Struds made the exact same point in the first segment, and I think it's awesome. Both of you pick out a detail like that. No, I love it, buddy. It's why you guys are awesome. Love it. I love those sorts of details. That's great stuff. Okay, moving on from Walman here. I want to make a point about Stuart Skinner. This is a night where if you just look at the stats, you're going to go, no, night from Skinner. I'm letting in all these goals. What's going on here, right? And expected goals will take a beating on a night like this, and stats and this and that. Stuart Skinner did his job. I thought he was excellent in this game. I think it's back-to-back really good starts from Stuart Skinner. I think he outdueled the other guy tonight. Stats be damned. Skinner did his job. And I don't want to hear a word from the Skinner haters out there after this game tonight. Struds, what say you?
I feel that his game was good, but it was like the Oilers, the skaters, right? It's getting in the right direction, but he's still just got to kind of keep working at it. Right now, there's some bad luck goals. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
well,
which of the goals did you like?
Let me rephrase that. The bad luck goal, but he let in 4 goals on a night where he had, 28 shots. So
okay, but let's talk about them.
I know,
let's
but
talk about
let me finish my thought.
Okay, go ahead.
He can, he'd like to keep that down a little bit. He's not going to be happy with that. Afterwards, he didn't look thrilled with his game when the guys came to hug him. To me, that wasn't a joyful Stuart Skinner. So again, I'm not saying he played badly, but I think that some of the bad luck, some of the things that happened, I believe he's trending in the right direction. But the stats didn't reflect it tonight, so the stats are what they are.
I agree with you, Shogger. I thought it was an excellent game by Stuart Skinner. In the third period, he gives up 3 goals. There was one where McDavid drifted away from his guy in front of the net. I think it was Ben turned around. That was an unbelievable shot. The Rantanen shot, there's not a goalie in the NHL that's saving that. And then the bad luck one bounces off Emberson into the net. But what you love about the Dallas Stars scored 3 goals fairly quick. And there's some stress in the Oilers game now. I mean, this is a team a little fragile. They've talked about it. They've given up 3 at the 5-4 game. And then from then on, there was not a sniff by the Dallas Stars they were going to get a goal on Stuart Skinner. He came up with a couple big saves after that. I thought this was a big moment for Stuart Skinner. And Grant Fuhr, he'll talk about, there's games when Grant Fuhr was the best goalie in the world. He gave up 4. But if he needed to stop it at 4, he would stop it at 4. And Stuart Skinner did it tonight. Ottinger's a great goaltender, one of the best in the world. And again, like the playoffs last year, Stuart Skinner outbattled Ottinger. He was the better of the 2 goalies.
Okay, Gord Parchewski chiming in here says, so wrong, Struddy. Ripple isn't a flavor. Sorry, that's a different argument. He disagrees with you on sorry about that. I misread that. He might agree with you on Stuart Skinner's night tonight, Struds.
No, that's fine. And that's fine. I think, isn't that the guy, isn't that Gordy Parchewski who worked for Old Dutch for 20 years?
No, that's Jerry Mancini. That's a different guy.
Jerry Mancini.
Brownie,
Must be a cousin.
I know you've never once listened to this show when you're not on it, Brownie, but it got pretty epic in the old. Maybe we'll get to that in our next segment. Pretty epic in the old chip battle department, and you and I came out victorious.
Did you and I win?
It
was a landslide, buddy. It was a landslide.
No, it wasn't. And
yes.
There's a whole. The whole thing was just an absolute mistrial. It was an absolute joke, actually.
All right.
The way it was handled.
Struds is denying the democratic process. We'll get to that. We'll push that aside. With a little bit more to break down from this game, I want to talk about Jones, Max Jones here. And I've liked both of his nights. I like the physicality. I'll tell you what I really liked. I really liked hearing the head coach go out of his way without being asked to point out Max Jones, his energy the last two games, and his hit totals. That tells me that this player is going to be rewarded for bringing this style of game, which the coach is recognizing it, pointing it out, and he will be rewarding him because there will be some lineup decisions to be made here at a certain point, especially with Frederick coming back in. And I like the fact that he's noticing and seeing the value of that. He's been good, Struds.
100%. Now, he cannot ever let up, or he will be finding himself upstairs eating popcorn. Like that is clear. You know, I can't be any clearer. He needs to hit every single night he goes out. And I said he needs to hit the Zamboni driver, the Uber driver, every single person, run over the ice crew. You need to do it, or he will be out of that lineup. Brownie?
Well, I think to go kind of against some of what Schauger said, I think we've seen where Chris Knobloch has said good things about other players that didn't get to the lineup the very next game. So I'm not sure that's guaranteeing him anything with these kind of comments.
They can't pull it out.
But I do believe that Jones has been a positive in his two games that he's played or whatever it is he's played. He's been a positive. He's been noticeable. And it's good when you're a fourth-line guy being noticed for positive things. There will be one, if not two, forwards coming back into the lineup, depending on what happens with Kane. That means two forwards are out. Jones doesn't penalty kill. So you've got to be really good at what you do on the fourth line to be able to stay in the lineup ahead of someone else that might penalty kill or be on a power play. So he's got to really be noticeable in a positive way, because if you're not playing specialty teams, is it still worth keeping you in the lineup? But Struds and I talked last podcast about Jones. He's done it 2 games now. Now make it 3. Then make it 4. Be consistent. And if you're consistent, there's always a way to make a positive impact in a hockey game as a fourth-line guy that is simply physical. And good on Jones for realizing that.
Struds, do you think he should have been more aggressive and taken the fight from Dumba, or were you okay with the way he played that? Because he did get challenged. The linesmen were kind of there. The Oilers are winning the game. They're leading. So you want to be careful. It was a clean hit. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, man, I debated this. In that moment, I probably wouldn't have taken it, because I don't want to give any energy off that team. I just rocked their new acquisition and I skated away. But then the hero in me is like, oh man, Saturday night, the new team I'm on, and I can fight a guy. Matt Dumba is nothing to worry about as far as fighting. I mean, not that he's not tough, but it's not like you're fighting Ryan Reeves. So I think the hero would have taken it on a Saturday night, and I would have walked right down to Jasper Ave after that fight and had myself a good night.
Yeah, I took a look at his hockey fights. He's had a few scraps here and there. I mean, he's not super skilled at it, but he showed himself to be willing. I was okay with the fact that he didn't take the fight. Also want to note, Jamie Benn did challenge Walman after his hit on Ranton, and it was behind the play. I don't know if the cameras got it or not. Ben skated out to the blue line during play and got right into Walman's face and was challenging him. and Walman wasn't going to do that at that point.
You don't take
so
that
I heard
fight.
you and Zuby talking about that. What's that?
Yeah, you don't take that fight. If you're Walman,
Ever.
you don't fight Jamie Benn.
Ever.
That is not the fight you take.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. That's
that.
picking
He
the
is
door.
really tough. Really tough fighter.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw us a like. If you like what you're hearing, throw us a like. That helps us with our algorithm. I've been told to continue to push for those more. I listen to other shows, and they're always pushing hard for the likes. I don't love doing it, but we'll try and do that a little bit more here and there. We're at 100 and some. I don't know. Zuby, how many can we get to? Can we get to 175 by the end of the show?
We just had a huge thumb explosion there from 101 to 118. And we had a heart up in there, and it's gone. I don't know what happened to... I don't know which...
the heart disappeared?
I don't know where the heart comes from, what platform, but somehow somebody had given us a heart also. That maybe it's our one viewer on Twitch. Maybe that's a Twitch thing.
That's our Twitch heart. Love it. Okay. Guys, before we wrap up this segment, I want to revisit our conversation that we had after the trade deadline yesterday about the Oilers and the day that they had. My perception at the time was that, maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive in trying to add that piece that they needed up front. And, obviously like the acquisition on the blue line, and Frederick's a good ad and everything, but was sort of saying, hey, would have been good if they could have come away with that. I think we all would have agreed it would have been more of an A deadline instead of a B or C plus or whatever we called it. Well, did a little bit more digging today. Now, Brian Lawton on Stoff Show, I think, was the first one to suggest that the Oilers had some conversations surrounding Rantanen and that there was a chance that they were going to be in on it. Dug in a little bit more today and did some reporting. So, guys, it actually got pretty far down the path here. The Oilers were extremely aggressive. It got so far as they had a contract basically worked out for the most part with dollars in place north of what the Dallas Stars ended up paying Mikko Rantanen on an 8-year extension. The Oilers were willing to do a deal, a monster deal, in an effort to bring Mikko Rantanen in. Where this all fell through was they did not have the trade pieces they needed to make it work for Carolina. They obviously liked Stankoven and liked the package that Dallas had put together. But I'm here to tell you guys, Mikko Rantanen was good to come to Edmonton, good to sign on long term. The Oilers were interested in doing it, went down that path, and Struds, this was in the ballpark of being possible.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine what would have to go out the door contract-wise at some point here. I mean, there'd be 3 guys over $12 million, I'm assuming, and then Bouchard at whatever he's going to be at. But I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here. But if they had qualified Dylan Holloway, it would be Dylan Holloway in Carolina right now and Mikko Rantanen here in Edmonton, because he's a quality forward that they would have taken. And I feel he feels like a Carolina type player.
That's a good point, Strutt. It's a really good point. And it goes back to what we've been talking about. The Oilers don't have assets. They don't. I mean, they have no one even close to Stankoven that they can give up. They've got a first rounder 3 years from now that they have available. So, I mean, it goes to, when they go all in every year, eventually the cupboard gets bare, and they may have lost an opportunity on having a superstar in their lineup. And Rantanen was fantastic in this hockey game for Carolina. The other thing, I think you reported it too, it talked that they were in on Raquel and on Donato too. Is that what did you not report that?
Yeah.
Well, what I don't understand on that one is, well, if they were in on it, how did they not get them? Because no one else did. So, like, what I'm missing why the Oilers weren't able to get 2 guys that no one else got. It's not like they were outbid because no other team.
Well, I think what happened, Brownie. Yeah, I think what happened in the case of Donato is they decided not to trade him. Like, I think they were trying to re-sign him, maybe felt like it eventually was going to be able to happen. I mean, he's not a guy that they wanted to trade. So I think the ask was extremely high, and they never came down into a range that made it doable. And I think that's reflective of the fact that they never wanted to trade him. My guess on Raquel would be, maybe what gets in the way of that deal is there is an absolute requirement there for a retention in salary, I would think. And maybe that's where that deal falls through. It's a number of years after this, And when you're asking a team to retain for multiple years, I think that's probably where a deal like that gets held up, I would assume.
Yeah, makes sense, because I'm like, wait, well, they were in on those guys. Well, they didn't get outbid.
Yeah.
Rantanen would have been fantastic. Can you imagine a line with Rantanen and Draisaitl on it?
No.
I mean, I don't know about you, if you guys talked about him in the first segment. Rantanen was excellent in this hockey game, and he is going to be a difference maker for the Dallas Stars. Their power play is completely different with Rantanen on it. He is a threat as a shooter and as a passer, and he's got such soft hands. So this was a huge win for the Dallas Stars, getting him at the deadline, not as a rental, but having him for 8 years.
You put a garbage can beside those two guys. Say, just don't go offside and get a few hits. That's all you have to do. We'll do the rest.
All right. So they were definitely aggressive. And I think we got to, consider that anyways. We weren't able to actually execute anything, but certainly we're very much in the mix on that. Okay, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. Our like shot right up there. Zuby, I'm willing to say this. I'm willing to say this to the people. I don't know if 200 is even doable, but if 200 is doable, I think we give them the extended version of the Weiss Johnson jingle. I think we put that out there. No, you know what? The extended version of the Weiss Johnson jingle sandwiched by a Struds Rodney Dangerfield impersonation. So to be clear, that'll be Rodney Dangerfield, Weiss Johnson, Rodney Dangerfield, if we can get to 200 likes. I think that's doable, Zuby?
Oh, it's totally doable. And note, and this is my parents. This is me talking as a proxy for my parents again. No talking during the Weiss Johnson full jingle. They want to hear it clear in its entirety.
All right, I'll do my best. I have a hard time staying quiet. I just often go like, oh, so good.
It is so good.
So good. Okay, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. When we come back, let's get to brownie points and let's get to Struddy's World, shall we? And maybe the jingle. Hit that like button while we're in the break.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
186 likes and counting. We can get there. I probably set the bar too low. That should have been a 250, but we will be good. We will follow through on our word. Time now for Struddy's World. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, my brother's company. Alberta's #1 vinyl product supplier, DLR offers top quality materials to build fence or deck that will not rot, fade, or fall apart on you. If you need a skilled contractor to take care of the job or prefer a DIY approach, DLR can help you get set up with everything you need. They got locations in Calgary and in Edmonton. Check them out online, dlrvinylproducts.ca. Struddy?
Everyone's probably noticed how sensitive I am tonight compared to normal, and I want to share why. The Oilers game started at 8, and I decided I'd go to the Short Park Crusaders game and watch the first period and a half, and then come home and watch the Oilers game. So everything was fine. I drove out there. I arrived. I was purchasing a ticket. I go up to the till and I say, "Hi, can I get a ticket for one?" She said, "That's a senior's ticket." I said, pardon? She's like, is that a senior's ticket? And I said, are you kidding me? Is what I said. And she's like, I said, are you kidding me? She's like, well, no, no, of course, just a regular one. I'm like, yeah, just a regular one. I'm like, well, I guess, when does senior start? 55? She's like, no, 65 is what she said. I was like, are you shitting me? And so she's like, I'm sorry. No, a regular ticket would be fine. I'm like, yeah, a regular ticket. So she gives me the ticket and she goes, here, this one, you can sit anywhere you want. I'm like, oh, that's nice. You're making up for the comment about the seniors. I can sit anywhere. She's like, no, everyone gets to sit anywhere they want. I just grabbed the ticket and dragged my sorry little ass into the rink. I've been so rattled, boys. Seniors ticket at 65. 65.
Wow.
Outrageous.
All right, Struds, we're gonna let everybody contemplate that for a moment because we have to be men of our words. 202 likes. Let's hit it, Zuby.
Respect.
Jingle.
Wiz Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family owned. Count on experience to speak for itself. With Wiz Johnson, whoa. Striving to bring you a comfortable home. Wiz Johnson, whoa. Yeah, get no respect.
Well done, everybody. Well done. That was so worth it. I don't even know what we're going to do for 300 likes. Somebody said 300 likes and Struddy eats cashews. Are you willing, Struds?
Well, they're a soft nut. It's not a big deal. I mean, I'd rather see you eat a hard
Well,
nut.
you know what? Strud, you probably, being your age of 65, probably should be eating soft nuts instead of hard ones now. Better for your gums.
I better blend the
Struds,
nuts.
how old was the lady?
Yeah,
how old was the lady
very
that asked you
important,
if you were a
Well,
senior citizen?
I'm always sensitive to guessing someone's age. I would say she was above me, but under the threshold of 65.
Oh, wow.
It did occur to me that she was trying to interact with me on like a social level and say, hey, what's up, big boy? Because I thought as I left the house, I looked pretty nice.
No.
But I think she
wasn't saying, what's up, big boy? That wasn't, she thought you were 65.
I still can't believe it. 65.
That
walked
hurts.
in.
That hurts way more than I thought you were going to say. It was like a 16, a girl's like 16 or 18, because at that age, I feel like kids can't judge once you hit with like over 40, but
that wouldn't have bothered me if it was like a 19-year-old. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like I used to think 50 was like, you're almost dead at 50.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know, I walked off. I went around the corner, did 100 push-ups. Then I walked in there. Just try to tighten things up a little bit.
Attaboy, Struddy. All right, Struddy's Seniors World brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. I love that one, Struds. You're in a safe place. You can always share your vulnerable moments with your close friends here on the pod. No judgment, soft landing. You're in a safe place.
Thank you. But it was a rough one. That was humbling, guys. I'm very humbled and sensitive today.
All right, well, let's cheer them up, guys. And the Weiss Johnson jingle can cheer people up, but so too can the Hamel's Premium Jerky. Happy music. Oh, you know it. It's time for Brownie Points. Brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you're craving bold flavor and unbeatable quality jerky made with prime Alberta beef, they got you. Made right here in the province, available in 13 flavors. There's a perfect bite for everybody. And in the month of March, 2 pounds of jerky for $70. You get a bonus quarter-pound mystery flavor pack. Free shipping Alberta-wide. Go to albertajerky.com. Got your back, as the code will get you an additional 10% off. Brownie Award some points, my friend.
Well, let's start with 26 brownie points to Rookie of the Year candidate Dustin Wolf. He had a 26-save shutout tonight, keeping the Calgary Flames in the playoff race with his 1-0 win. If he gets the Flames into the playoffs, if the Flames make the playoffs, he is hands down my Rookie of the Year. This is an unbelievable story. The Flames are, as is Dustin Wolf. I got seven brownie points to the Colorado Avalanche. No team in the NHL has made more trades this year than Colorado, including trading both goaltenders. Tonight, the new look Avs scored 7 against the Leafs and looked like one of the favorites to win the Cup. So good on the Colorado Avalanche, realizing they weren't good enough at the beginning of the season. They made a bunch of trades. They looked very good tonight against the Leafs. I got three brownie points to the Oilers' top 6 wingers. They have been absent for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Tonight, they scored 3 big goals. Hyman with 2, Arvidsson with 1 on a wonderful one-timer. That was a nice pass, too, by the way, by Rishaug. The Oilers needed more from the wingers of 29 and 97, and tonight they responded with 3 goals. I got 25 for the new guy, Jake Walman. Debuts, plays almost 25 minutes. Great stretch pass to Hyman. Big hit on Rantanen. He and Nurse, fantastic pairing tonight. A wonderful debut for Jake Walman. And 28 big brownie points about to Darnell Nurse. Ekholm's out of the lineup. Someone has to step up. Darnell Nurse plays almost 28 minutes tonight, plus 3 in the game. It's hard to believe last year the abuse that Darnell Nurse took on social media, from media, to where he is today. He's been the most consistent Oiler defenseman all season long. Tonight he was fantastic. And I got a late entry into the brownie points tonight. I had 65 fantastic brownie points to the ticket seller at the Crusader game tonight. Yeah. She made my week by questioning Struddy's senior moment. So to that wonderful lady in Sherwood Park, I am sending you 65 of the humongous brownie points I can find. Good on you. You made me smile. And that, my friends, are tonight's brownie points.
Love it. Absolutely love it. You know, it's funny, when you started brownie points, our good friend starting over at 61 actually put in the chat, if that ticket seller doesn't get 65 brownie points, ... the people needed it, Brownie. You gave the people what they needed tonight. I love it. I love how you adjusted on the fly there, big boy.
Yeah,
I tell you, I could not stop smiling. I could not stop smiling when Strud started that story. I'm like, oh my God, now you know how the rest of us feel, Strud. We have had senior moments. Welcome to the club.
That's 65.
Brownie, 65, I know. Strud's, not to hand you another loss here as Brownie's heading out the door, but Brownie, just so you know, it was a pretty decisive win, and we're having a bit of an issue with Struds. He's not accepting the results of the election. I mean, the poll. He's in denial, but I just want you to know I represented our side of the argument well, and it was decisive. So order has been restored in the chip consumption world, Brownie.
Well, you know what we had on our side, Chogger? We had facts. The fact is, it's the same. So, I mean, it wasn't I mean, I'm glad you represented and you had to go against the evil empire, but I'm glad that we came out on the top because facts do matter.
So the fact of the matter is we always wrap it before we do Ask Us Anything. And we didn't do it last night. So the results are tainted and they're inaccurate. So I can't accept the loss because we've never done it that way.
Hey, you know what? Okay, you know what? Why don't you just be quiet, old man? Just be quiet, old man.
Yeah. Old man yells at cloud. There's your headline here.
Great. Thank you.
See you, Brownie. One more of these on your way out.
Get no respect.
Yeah, that's right.
See you,
I'm going to sleep. I'm going to have a smile when I go to bed tonight. Thanks, Strud.
Great. Get out of here.
See you, buddy. I love it. See, this is the thing, Struds. The reason why we didn't close the poll at the start of Ask Us Anything is because it was our second poll of the night. Most times we do a poll and then it has like 30 minutes in the show to marinate. We needed to give it extra time because it had only been launched like 5-6 minutes before. So it was only fair to let it go through the Ask Us Anything segment.
Yeah, whatever works
does that
for
appease you?
It's your show. Whatever works for you, buddy. Right? Whatever works for you. It's no problem. You're like the dad.
I'm glad you know that.
No, you're like the dad at the hockey game whose son's team's losing and he's working the door or the scoreboard, and he just takes a little longer to let the button off and goes a little quick on it so that his team has more chance to get back into it. That's who you are. Or the moms. The moms are just as guilty. I've seen it both sides.
All right, let's get to a scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at an incredible 58%. Their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish. Lots of new players debuting in different cities tonight, Struds, on the scoreboard. And what was going on out there that mattered to the Oil?
Well, we'll start with the Kings beating the Blues 2-1. I think that's a really important one. The Oilers are trying to keep ahead of them and catch Vegas at the same time. The Flames, as Brownie talked about, Joe Farabee gets his 11th goal of the year, and he and his Flames get an all-important 2 points against the Canadians. And then the Panthers roll over the Sabres, who I'm not sure what's going to happen there this summer. I think there's got to be some serious talking about what's going on. And then the last one that kind of intrigued me is the Bruins. After trading so many players out, just put a whooping on the Lightning 4-0 today. I watched a bit of that one before I went out. So
4-0, hey, on Tampa.
4-0, yeah. No Marchand, no one like that. That's kind of the extent of the ones that I think would intrigue Oilers fans of 10 games.
All right, that is our scoreboard brought to you by our friends over at Canadian Club. Before we go to break, let's get to our HSE Core Blue Liners segment tonight, Struds, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, they have your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, from creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislation and requirements. They support client operations every step of the way. Visit www.hsecore.com. That's HSECOR.com for more info. Struddy, who are we talking about tonight?
Well, not many players will know who this player is. I remember reading about when he was drafted, but I haven't really followed him too closely. Leon Bechel. He's a huge D-man, first rounder a couple years ago for Dallas, and he played tonight. 6'7", 230 pounds, what he has listed at. This player moves well. He's young. He's 20 years old, but for that size, he moves well. He makes pretty good plays with the puck, and he's quite physical. Like, he looks like he's mean. He's a big, mean guy that can move around. Now, interesting career path here. He's from Switzerland, but he's played mostly in Sweden, which is kind of an interesting path. Now, I don't know if there's maybe some father things going on. I don't know, or mother, whatever. But this is a player to watch for Dallas. Dallas always seems to find D-men that are coming up, right? Heiskanen, Harley, this guy. There's just guys that are, even Klingberg, just coming up at the right time. And from what I saw tonight, I think that this player's trending in the right direction. He's not penalty kill, no power play yet, and I get it. Like, he's just young and raw, but there's a lot of young and raw to work with there for their coaching staff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to remember, was Alexiak a draft of the Dallas Stars? Yeah, he was. He was a 14th overall pick of the Dallas Stars too. 6'7" left shot defenseman that had some pretty good years in Dallas. So they've had success with these tall guys.
Yeah, big man, big man, and I do think that he's going to be. To me, he's trending the right way. Now, one guy you could compare him to is the guy in Vlasic in Chicago. I think that I feel like Vlasic was further along. I think he maybe has a little bit more skill, but he's further along. But I think this guy moves really well. So it'll be interesting. I mean, huge player like that. And he went after McDavid a couple times, right? I mean, Connor saw it coming. He did. But still, it's to me, he's very much worth watching. And let's see what this guy's like in a season and a half when he was on 22.
But moves around pretty good for his size, and when you're raw like that, and already able to. I mean, he hung in there. So interesting to see what. What the future holds for a big guy like that. All right, that was Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. Quick break. When we come back, we'll take a lap around the league and ask us anything. If you got any comments, anything you want us to address, fire them into the chat. We'll have our poll results as well, our play of the night. Lots more here on Got Your Back, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
Cruising along at 229 thumbs up. Thank you for that. Time now to take a couple of laps, brought to you by Acon. If you're a skilled tradesperson or construction professional looking for work in Western Canada, they want your resume. Send it to them at trades@acon.com. They're looking for skilled tradespeople, construction pros to join their team and start building what matters today. That is trades@acon.com with your resume. Struddy, what do we want to focus in on tonight?
Well, really cool moment. There's a lot of talk about Brady Tkachuk and will he want to leave there, especially his buddy Josh Norris left, or his best friend, and there were some tears. And I get it. It's very emotional. Today they had a game against the Rangers, and they need these points because they're fighting the Rangers for a playoff spot. And in overtime, Brady Tkachuk scores. Pretty cool, actually. They did a kind of short little run after he won. But Claire Hanna had him down on the bench for an on-ice interview after, and the fans were calling his name, chanting Brady. They were going crazy, and he was speechless. A guy that I don't think's ever been speechless in his life was speechless. And he said, "This is so awesome. I love it about the fans." So I think that's a really, really neat moment for him. And I don't know. I'm not in the group that believes he's going to run out of town anytime soon. He seems to truly like it there.
And I think, I understand the reaction to yesterday when you see the trade. You understand the history between those two. Then you watch his interview. And I think part of the backdrop of that, Struds, is we just saw him on a team with his brother. And he looked like he was having so much fun and just loved it. And everybody thinks the fix is in, right? That Brady's going to Florida. So it's kind of present on people's minds. I understand why they would kind of say, well, you wonder, right? Did he just lose a reason why he would potentially stay in Ottawa? But the guy wants to win, man. The guy's just wired to win. So he loves big moments and, a big stage. So, yeah, I think it was natural for people to think that when we saw what we saw yesterday. But there's a lot more to the story for a competitor like that than just a buddy. And Struds, I'm sure you played with buddies at times too and got traded away from teams or had buddies traded away. Did you have any super close friends traded away?
No, because usually I left before they left. But it is tough. Because you're so intimate with these guys for long stretches, and you battle with them, work out with them, travel, all that stuff, share intimate details of your life, and then bang, you're gone, and it's like, oh, that's a pretty big hole. I got to find someone new. So yeah, it can be pretty tough. It can be pretty tough for sure, and I get it, but. Yeah. After seeing that time with Brady, I mean, he loves it. I feel like he loves it there. He loves it there. And then I missed this detail yesterday on trade deadline, and I'm sorry for those who have maybe seen it, but there's a lot of information coming at us in the hockey world yesterday. Slipped in under the rug was Dougie Hamilton of the New Jersey Devils, their stud defenseman, 31 years old, is out for an extended time. I think he got hurt Tuesday. What day is it today? Saturday. Tuesday or Wednesday, I think he got injured. And he's out extended. Now, that doesn't mean the rest of the season, but it means extended. But Jack Hughes is out for the rest of the year. So now, they did trade for Dumoulin, but this guy being Dougie Hamilton's out. You got no Jack Hughes. I get it. You're trying to help your team. It might have been wise just to do nothing, maybe trade away your own UFAs because you're not going anywhere without these two guys. So and that's frustrating. I hate seeing teams being unable to compete due to injuries.
For sure, especially a team that, is really wanting to take a step. I mean, they've been building, they've been patient with some young guys, they've got some high-end guys, but they've been trying to build this thing, and I think they felt like they were ready to take a step this season, Struds. And it's disappointing for them that at this time in the year they're getting their feet kicked out from underneath them here with a couple of big guys being missed.
3 losses in a row. And without a big stat, and they were already looking for another another centerman on top of Hughes. Now they're down 2, and they're down a D-man, and Jonas Siegenthaler's out for the year as well. Like it's going to be tough grind. I still think they're a playoff team, but I don't. Well, actually, it might be tight. But I still think they're a playoff team, but it's going to be rough.
All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at ACOM. Trades at acon.com is where you send your resume. All right, Zuby, hop back in here, my friend. Since we started the poll way earlier in the show, this is an appropriate time to wrap it up. So let's wrap up our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll, my friend. What are the results now that we've had some time?
When we always wrap it up, always before that we should wrap up the poll.
Right.
We usually wrap up the poll.
When we remember to. That's usually the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting for the results to show up here in the thing because I just hit finish on it. And this might be the one time where we have to not do it here because I'm not getting my hang on.
Did you lose it?
No, well, my alternate browser here is actually kind of freezing up on me a tiny bit, so it's there. Maybe someone else.
Well, don't worry about it.
Someone else can read it back to me. Jake Walman won.
If anybody
handily.
sees it.
Here it is. Okay, here was the question. Who ends up being the most impactful late season addition for the Oilers? Jake Walman, 76%. Evander Kane, 9%. Trent Frederick, also 9%. Max Jones, only 5%. So big recency bias for Walman, but not so much for Jones. I guess people not putting too much stock in that he's going to be able to keep this going. Almost 500 votes. That's actually why I waited a little later to press go on it because I was hoping we'd get to 500. But it's all good.
All good. Love it. Just a great number on the stream tonight, too. People are fired up. When people are fired up, they hop in. And we absolutely love having you along for the ride. Tell a buddy about it. See if you can get some friends in here with us. We love people that are chiming in and chirping in. So let's get to some of that in our Ask Us Anything segment. BJ Electric Supplies brings us Ask Us Anything. Founded in 1976, they are a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Very proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. All right, Zuby, what are the people chatting about tonight?
Something interesting. I'm not sure. I don't think you guys talked about this. Aaron St. Pierre pointing out Bouchard only 18 minutes tonight. Nurse 27. Now, of course, they didn't have any power plays. But do you read anything bigger into those minutes tonight, guys?
Well, I would if Ekholm had been playing because
right.
They had all their D. But Ekholm wasn't there, so that's a lot of minutes that weren't available to be used. Now, to be fair, one thing, I don't think the Oilers had a power play. So that's a couple minutes at least, and then shave it off other guys. So I think that's something to be thought of.
So I'm going to take a quick little peek at the even strength minutes. Evan Bouchard, 1837. Jake Walman, 21:55. Darnell Nurse at even strength, 25:55. Brett Kulak, 20:28. Ty Emberson was down quite a bit, 12:58. But Bouchard, below both those guys in even strength minutes. So take the penalty killing time out of it. And Struds, they really leaned into Walman tonight. 21:55 in regulation, even strength time. That's a good chunk, and Nurse was a beast.
Yeah, find out what he can do. I honestly, after what I see today, I want to give those two a long time together, Nurse and Walman. Give him time. Let him
And-
roll. And that's not an indictment of Kulak at all, because ultimately he'll probably be a top 5. They'll roll 5. Let's be honest. When they get deep, into a deep situation in the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I know you don't go hard at the refs and you don't have to, but Gord Parchewski's been calling up the refs for some time. The last few games on the stream, he says, how can there have been no penalties all night on Dallas? How? I mean, there was nothing egregious, but there was a couple close things. What did you see, Shogger? How are they letting it go?
Okay. I'll do my best here to conjure up some opinion and emotion. Bit of a ticky-tacky call on Draisaitl, I guess, maybe. The one I didn't like was when he was coming through the middle of the ice. Was it Rantanen? Somebody got their hand in on his thigh and hauled him down. I thought that was a little goofy that Draisaitl didn't get that call in the middle of the ice. But again, we don't spend a lot of time talking about the refs on this show. I think, it aggregates out over the year. I think generally speaking, it all ends up being fairly even. But yes, if that is your focus, you probably have a couple of reasons to feel frustrated tonight. That's the best I can do, Struds. You?
I wish Gord Parchewski spent as much time and emotion digging into the research of Ripple versus plain chips as he does about complaining about the refs. If he did, his viewpoint would be different.
There you go, Gord. I gave it a shot for you, buddy.
Told.
Okay, Klima's lid says, we've talked about Max Jones. He says he's a great addition to this roster. Love his energy and physicality. Can Jones PK? Has there been any history of him being a penalty killer, and is there any room for him to slide in? PK was only 1 for 3 tonight, of course, right?
Yeah, PK's killing
that's a
me
great
right now.
handle. Can we discuss? Can we discuss the handle, Klima's lid, and
Yeah.
how good that is? I'll look up the stats here. Zuby, why don't you go to the next question, and I'll look up the stats here on Jones. And
Sure.
kinda
This
see what I can
one
see what
from
his
our
history
friend starting over at 61 is Struddy. Struddy specific anyway. He says, Struddy, do you fix the clock on your VCR and microwave, or do you senior move it 6 months until the time is correct again? Here, Struddy, if you have a power outage at your house, I think this is the question. How long is those clocks flashing 12:00 for?
It doesn't even flash 10 times. I'm already on it because I'm a stickler for the right time. Like my wife, it's frustrating. We have 2 alarm clocks each on our bedside table, 1 each. And her climb is always different than mine. I go over and adjust hers to meet mine because mine's the real time. She puts hers 10 minutes ahead. So wakes up, she's early. Like, well, you already know it. So you're not really you're cheating. So just do it the right time and get up at the right time. So I'm a stickler for the right time.
I don't like that. People who deliberately put a clock at a different time because they think that those few minutes help their...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you know it. Then you just use that time.
I'll tell you what drives me crazy. We have a microwave that I know because whenever I have to reset it, I set it right to what's on the phone and it slips a little bit. It's not the best perfect clock in there.
Right.
That's a killer too. What have you found?
No penalty killing. Sorry, I just checked back in. I was no penalty killing time of note for Jones in his time in the Anaheim system.
All right. Well, that was worth it. Struddy and I getting to talk about the clocks. Okay.
So I missed all that.
A couple of interesting thoughts asking you guys from some other teams, things that happened at the deadline. Bobo Fett saying thoughts on the Leafs asking Marner to waive his no trade clause for the Rantanen deal and the players' reaction. And that's, I think we would say, alleged. I mean, it sounds like it's confirmed, but I don't know who specifically has reported that. Struddy?
Yeah, I chirped the Leafs a lot, and I felt terrible for Marner in that. Like, because that's terrible. They're saying, basically the franchise came and say, you know what? We like you, but we like this guy better. And we were asking you to leave so we can bring this guy in better. Imagine if that happened with a relationship, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. And I like you, but would you be willing to step out of this home so I can bring this new person in? Like, I really felt bad for Marner. I thought that was absolutely unfortunate. Now, it's part of business. I get it. But I wonder if it changes his off-season plans that happens, because that hurts.
Just a quick question, though. Like, I mean, So they would have had a contract worked out with Rantanen and a trade worked out. And going to ask Marner, I assume, would be one of the last things that they would do. You're not going to ask him if it's going to fall through. So you've got a chance to add one of the top forwards on the planet on an 8-year deal, presumably. And in order to do it, you got to trade a guy that is unrestricted, that doesn't have a contract yet and hasn't re-signed. Like, I'm sure there have been some talks and stuff. So I don't know, Struds. He hasn't signed on the dotted line yet. What are they supposed to do? It's not like they were asking him to waive his no trade so they could go get Mika Zibanejad. Like, it's Mikko Rantanen. You got a chance to get this guy. You're Marner. You haven't signed yet. Like, I don't know, man. That feels like business to me.
It is, but they just made it personal. So I'll be interested to see if it affects it at all. Because I get it. I said the same thing, Shock. I understand everything you're saying. But Marner thinks he's a really good player, and he is. I don't think he's as good as Rantanen. There aren't many players that are better than Marner. So it makes it very personal when you bring that and say, we want you to waive to go down there.
Yeah. I don't know. If they wouldn't have put any money on the table for him at any point, if there was no if they hadn't shown that they were interested in keeping him, if they hadn't, and I don't know exactly the state of negotiations, but it's just like, hey, man, you want to sign? You can't come to terms on a deal, then it's like, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just feels like when you get a chance to add that player, wouldn't Marner kind of understand, like, that's a heck of a player that they had to an opportunity to get?
Your feelings be hurt. Yeah, I get it. Oh, he's not supposed to have hurt feelings. Yeah, hockey players have feelings too. I honestly, I think it would really hurt. It would really hurt. You've been there bleeding, working hard, trying to get it going. And then, we got someone better. We want you to now waive your no trade or no movement so you can go down to there. To where? Carolina. Tough one, man. Tough one. I think this alters the offseason plans for Mitch Marner, or could alter them.
Interesting. Giving you the last word on that. Moving on, Zuby.
All right. Trizent wants to know, I don't know anything about this, so you'll have to fill in the blanks here. Struds, what was it like to practice at Russ Barnes Arena as an NHLer? What did the others say? Did anyone trip going down the stairs to the ice, or do you have other stories about it?
Russ Barnes? Which one's that? Is that in St. Albert?
I looked it up quickly. It says it's in Edmonton, but
it's really close to the rink, or really close to the old Coliseum.
Is that
like
Santa
it's like
Rosa
a 5-minute
Arena?
drive to there?
Yeah, we never practice there. We always practice at Millennium Place in Sherwood Park.
Yeah, I've been there. I've covered practice there. It's freaking cold, and I know this has been a bit of a theme for me the last couple of days. It's super cold in that arena.
Yeah, I think that's the old Santa Rosa Arena. Someone can double. I'm pretty sure that's Santa Rosa. Yeah, no, we never practiced there. It was always Millennium. It was. I like that one in Sherwood Park. Millennium's really nice.
Okay, that's what starting over at 60 was said. Russ Barnes used to be Santa Rosa.
There we go.
Klima's lid comes over the top and says, Russ Barnes is by Northlands. It's a dump. Played there last week.
It's not great.
Thanks, Klima's lid.
Hard access.
Canadian Bacon. Why is Canadian Bacon saying Rishaug Rob? Why is my brother's name just randomly dropping into the show? Rishaug Rob.
I don't know.
Canadian
I'd have to
Bacon.
I know.
That's his first. That's that guy's first comment in the chat. So I can't give you any context.
Explain yourself, Canadian Bacon.
While he's explaining himself, it's kind of not a topic that really means anything, but Floating Tea Leaf says, why do the Oilers not shoot at empty nets and keep trying to pass it before shooting? Or just add on, have you seen a team more snake bit or hit more posts or whatever? And do you ever feel like it's going to come back to bite them? Or is it just empty nets, Struddy?
No, I think they're trying to pass. Well, at the end, I think they're trying to pass to Draisaitl. But I think you're trying to pass it so you get an open shooting lane. Because generally, the guy who gets the puck, you're standing in a shooting lane, right? Like Leon hit the post today. I think they're a little bit snake bitten. And yes, there is a chance it could bite them in the ass.
Yep. They've tried. They've missed a few. Excuse me. They're buddies. They're trying to get it to Leon. They're trying to help Leon pad his totals. I think, sometimes they just... They look to pass first. I think a lot of times, Struds, hey, on those.
I think when they know that they get out of the zone, but I don't know. Yes, I think they do, but I think they are trying to move the puck around. Who's there also? It's not as easy. You got multiple guys trying to block a shot.
All right. Last one, kind of a couple of, I'm going to hit back to back here from CK Pond. He says, tonight Oilers play their best game in a long time. Do you think being called trade deadline losers was bulletin board material? I'm not sure I heard anyone call them that, but certainly there were people thinking that they left a deal on the table. He adds also Connor's best stretch in quite some time. It's like he's turned on the switch for the last 20 games ramping up to the playoffs. Does being past the deadline, does that do anything? Certainly, seems like we're seeing Connor's best hockey of the year. Is it? Oh, I got. Have you been Rob Brown this whole time? I apologize. That's the question. I'm going to change Shogger's thing here back to.
Don't worry about it. The show's almost over. It's fine.
That's probably what Canadian Bacon was referencing. That you were Rishaug Rob Brown.
Okay, got it.
I don't know. Anyway. What effect does the deadline being passed have on a team? Is there any bulletin board material there, and why is Connor becoming this version of Connor? Pick any one of those and go with it, Struds.
Okay, when the deadline's over, everyone's settled. This is our team. This is who we are. There's no one moving else, no one else coming in. So let's figure out what we can do together, because it is a little unsettling heading into it. And the fact that someone says that, you're the loser or whatever, I don't know. I don't think anyone really cares. I think it's more when it comes from another team. It says, this team is easy to play against or whatever. Then you put it up on the board. But as far as the media, they know that they're trying to create, talking points. They're trying to get a buzz going, right? Trying to get something to talk about. So I think that the way Walman played tonight, I think some people may change their votes as to whether the Oilers were the losers at the deadline or not.
Boy, did he ever look good. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. All right, it is time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. Offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy, their experienced team provides personalized care with the latest technology to make sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. Pretty easy one here, Struds. A phenomenal pass from the newest Oiler. And it wasn't an easy pass. Pretty high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, beautiful pass. But the thing that impressed me was the confidence to make that pass, to want to make that pass and seeing it. You could tell by Hyman's reaction. He was pretty excited. So, yeah, a great start, great debut from Walman.
The idea that you make a pass like that and a hit like that mid-ice on the other team's new acquisition, either one of those would have been solid tonight. But to stack those two together, Struddy, that's a debut.
And then you got Ekholm that's going to come back at some point as well. Hopefully feeling fresher or refreshed or whatever, not as sick or healthy, whatever it is. So you're going to have 5 plus Emberson. And Klingberg and Stetcher, I guess. So that's 8.
Aaron St. Pierre bringing a bit of a dose of reality, saying, I don't think enough people are talking about that McDavid goal. You're probably right, Aaron. It's almost like we're immune at times to the greatness of McDavid when he makes plays like that. It was an amazing goal. Plucking it through like that, outskating everybody, going upstairs with it. Huge moment from Connor McDavid tonight. So we probably don't talk enough about his big moments.
Yeah. No, and that's fair. We talked about how he took a step forward today. I think that included that goal, or would include that goal.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Zuby, great job tonight. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Still 600 people watching us. You have the floor. Is there anything important you want to say here to end on, fellas?
I don't feel like
I'll
the last
reserve.
word, Struds.
Yeah, I don't want to have the last word because it's going to be disappointing. I mean, I had a tough day with the seniors chat with my lady over at Short Park Crusaders. So not feeling it, guys.
You take the loss last night on the show. And then you have the seniors dagger today.
Yeah, tough.
We're here for you, buddy.
Let me the one thing I'll say about last night in that poll was it was so strange how it was tilting. Like, I don't know. Because I was doing Ray and Dregs. I jumped over to watch the end of you guys, and it was like 64% saying different flavor. and it just kept tilting until, because it ended up being close to that on the other side,
changed?
I think.
What changed? Oh, you talked about it, Schauger, and then you left it going for longer. Outrageous.
You had an opportunity to speak as well. You had equal speaking time.
But not the last word.
You wasted your equal
last
speaking
word.
time. You wasted your equal speaking time on questioning the integrity of the whole thing. All right, we're not doing this. We're not doing all of this again.
Fair point.
Boys, nice job tonight. We're going to drop another pod. Oh, by the way, quick question on the way out here, Struds. Does Skinner play in Buffalo? Jeff, I mean. You scratching him for that game?
Do you change a winning lineup? No. So answer
I know.
multiple.
This coach does sometimes.
I wouldn't. I know, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, good point by you, Zuby. All right, we'll see. Something to ponder for the next couple of days. That'll be our next podcast. We'll drop one after the Buffalo Sabres on Monday. Thanks for staying up late with us, everybody. Wow, huge number still on the stream. It's flipping 1 in the morning here. We really appreciate it. So we'll talk in a couple of days. Yeah, see ya.